Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 12th, 2020. This is the Some Sort of Gaming Podcast. CES happened this past week, and at the same time, I couldn't find any real topics last week again, so we're just gonna go with the flow again this week. Zeldrick is back, so let's start off with him, what he's been up to this past 4 weeks now.
4 weeks. Oh, I guess that was a long time. But I guess first and foremost, I did beat Death Stranding finally, and I was thoroughly I had a really good time with playing that. But also I think it's really more of a story thing rather than like. Well, anyways, I'll start over. Like I said this throughout while I was playing it, that it's clear that it's a device. Like it's going to be the audience is going to be divided on liking it or not. And after that, it played out like it was a good story. But anyways, other than that, last week I was taking a vacation in Hawaii for the first time ever, and I just did some sightseeing, and that was it.
Did you say first time ever?
Yep, first time I've been there.
Oh, I thought you said on vacation for first time ever.
Oh no, I've only taken one vacation out of my entire life of 29 years. No, first time I've ever been to Hawaii, and did a lot of sightseeing, and I took a lot of pictures. I need to upload all my pictures to Flickr, and I'll be posting that on socials and stuff soon. But and then just kind of been plugging along with Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy 14. LadyInfamous and I did a round of Modern Warfare the other day, and I had a lot of fun. I contemplated on actually getting it, and I'm glad that I did, because it's kind of scratching that sort of FPS itch that I can go back to here and there. Otherwise, well, also like the Steam Winter Sale happened, and the only thing I got was Final Fantasy 7. I've been playing a little bit of that on stream, so I think I'm only like 5 hours into it, I think. I'm out of Midgard. I'm at the Gold Saucer. So I'm still in the beginning of the game. Yeah, I think that's it with me.
Is it feeling like it's holding up?
Final Fantasy 7?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about like holding up as in like it aged well.
Yeah. Or I mean, I feel like it's generally accepted that visually it kind of didn't age well, because it was like right on the cusp of when graphics started like making a pretty big leap forward. But I mean, just in terms of like more so story and gameplay, are you still like enjoying that part of it?
I am liking the storytelling, but however, I actually really do understand a big reason why they want to remake Final Fantasy VII, because there's a lot of dialogue and like talking points that they don't like explain more of. They just kind of not gloss over it. They don't do that, but they have their dialogue, and then it kind of doesn't have much depth or weight to it. And I guess with the for the time frame of when it was released, like the visuals don't really explain even further or give much more of an emotive sort of thing, since they're all blocks and stuff. But a lot of these things since 1997, like as far as for how far games have gone, it's I feel like that we've gotten so much storytelling with visuals and more dialogue that we get, that having a remake of this does bring more weight to the story and to the characters, and packs more of a punch and everything that they wanted to do. And while yes, back then it does pack a punch for 1997, but since then we do have the technology to actually go further and kind of relive it, but also experience it in a new way as well. So I'm digging it. And there's like these couple of there's actually a lot of stuff about this game that since I played it, I don't know, I think like year 2000 or 2001 or I don't know when I played it, but like just stuff that I don't remember. And I don't know. Again, like it's been a long time since I've played it, but I am liking doing a rerun of this game. And I think also with combat and stuff like that, it just very classic RPG, and that's something that I've missed doing.
Nice.
Cool.
How was Hawaii? I mean, like, not. I know you enjoyed it, but then which islands did you go to?
We were only on Maui. My grandparents have a condo there, and I got invited to stay there. Luckily, it was only my sister and I that were there, because I can't stand my family. But mainly it was just we went to the observatory, Hanakalea. I forget what it's called, but there's an observatory on Maui, and then we went to Lahaina, Kihei, and then there's a sort of like this deep forest area in the like northeastern part of the island that we went through. And that was a lot of fun. It was, and we rented a Jeep for it. And I've been to Australia and Fiji like in 2000, but ever since then, like, well, I've lived in California my entire life, so my experience with beaches is that it's really, really cold and even more freezing water, and it's always overcast. But it was just a shock to me that even in January, the water is warm. The ocean water being warm was like, it was like heaven. And I loved it.
You went to Fiji?
Yeah, I've been to Fiji.
Dang, you rich.
Yeah, you balling. You the one that's balling going to Fiji. Shit.
Hey, that was my dad. I didn't have anything. Again, this was like 2000. I was 10 years old. No, I was 9 years old. Fuck. Like, I'm not paying for that shit. You kidding me? Mm-hmm. But that place was beautiful too. I'll visit again one day.
So let's get on with somebody else. Who wants to go?
I'll go. Let me see. I've been trying to adjust to this night schedule now. So my gaming has been a little bit different. I started playing the Stick of Truth this past week. It's hilarious. The jokes in there. It's funny because as funny as and ridiculous and out like going way left with the jokes with South Park, it's really truly a RPG game. You if you don't pay attention to your parries or your buffs and your debuffs, you'll lose in this game. I learned that very quickly. Also, that it was for some reason when it comes to RPGs, I be going to the boss battles way underpowered. Like, I need to like explore more. So that's what I did. So I just went all around town just picking up side mission against side missions. And I recently just finished the spaceship mission. And I went back down to Earth, and I'm at the school right now with the guy who was on the alien ship with me. So he's about to show me some true power. I've been playing Call of Duty. It's just as well. It's like if I'm not streaming, like Call of Duty would be like the game I can play for like an hour and a half, just to bullshit around and get, exert this energy that I have left from like working all day and stuff like that. Also, we did Grown Women Gaming did their 100th episode yesterday, and we gave a bunch of codes out. We gave out like Nintendo codes, Steam codes, PlayStation codes, Xbox codes. They were just scattered all over the chat, and everybody showed up to support and show love, which was great. Hanging, chatting with the girls. Did I do anything else this week? I had fun playing with Zeldrick yesterday. He was quiet, but he was kicking ass. So I'm like, okay, you okay? I'm like, I was teasing him a little bit because he was like in a party with Xbox console players and he was the only one on PC. I'm like, okay, you go ahead. Let's see what your keyboard and mouse can do. And he's kicking ass and taking names, especially the hardcore search and destroy games. So all in all, it's getting good. I can't wait to Tekken 7 is going to be on Game Pass soon. So I can't wait to jump into that. I think that'll be my next fighter game I'll stream. I guess that's it. That's it for me.
Oh, well, for me, I don't know. I actually, I didn't expect to play a lot of games. And technically, I think gaming was kind of sporadic throughout the week. But I actually did end up playing a lot of time worth of games. So, I believe it was since the last podcast that I played. Maybe I might have started already, but I played through the Messenger, which realistically, the main reason I even jumped in was because I went and looked at the Epic Games Store and was like, I got a whole bunch of games on here and I've never touched anything on this platform really to see how well it works or how well it doesn't work. So I played the Messenger and it was that was a really fun game. It was definitely one of those games where halfway through the game I thought I was done. Because it ended up being a really long game. I think it was for me, it's long for me anyway. It was 13 hours or something like that to beat the main story. And then probably another couple of hours to beat they had an extra side mission where they took you to this tropical island to fight one of the main bosses a second time. But it was really cool. Actually, I think I did mention in the last podcast, so I'm pretty sure I was playing it at that point. But anyways, that was mainly what I played this week. It ended up being really cool. They had a lot of variety in the types of things you did in the game in terms of obviously platforming and having to kill enemies and a little bit of a little bit of a bullet hell type of edge to it in terms of people shooting things at you while you have to platform and dodge and all this kind of stuff at the same time. But overall, it was a really cool game. I liked it a lot. And then I started After Party. And that game, probably right now, I think I'm only maybe 3 hours into the game, something like that. But so far, that game is super entertaining. Not in the sense of, well, first off, there's almost no gameplay elements as far as I can see. So it's definitely more about the story. You can basically walk forward, backwards. You could click to talk with somebody. You can right click to take a drink. And then every once in a while, they'll have a little kind of mini game that you have to play. At least is what I've seen thus far in the game. So I had to do beer pong where you have to pick your angle and then press a button to throw your ping pong ball to see if you get it in the cup. And then there was a dancing game where basically it was Simon Says with the arrow keys on your keyboard. But other than that, again, there's not really that much in terms of game mechanics so far. But just the writing and the delivery of the lines and stuff like that is fantastic in that game. They have some really smart writers on that. Sense of humor is fantastic, and it's really likable characters so far. Definitely the main two characters, but also our a demon that follows you around. Her personality is pretty funny. There's a kind of this demon taxi driver. I think her name is Sam. Yeah, Sam, I'm pretty sure. Her personality is really funny. I really like the devil. I just met him and his personality seems really cool. Everybody seems really cool in this thing to the point where I was, as soon as probably about 5 minutes in, I was this probably should be a movie. Because it's just the world building and the character development and stuff like that all seems just really well catered to just telling a longer form story. So really cool so far. But again, only 3 hours in. So I think LadyInfamous played it before and I think you said it took you like 8 hours, right?
Oh no, it's gonna be about 6.
Oh, it's a little bit shorter. Okay, so I might be halfway done.
Yeah, you're halfway. Yeah, you're halfway done.
Okay. But yeah, that was the 2 games I got to play, and then the only other kind of eventful thing I think was I finally got to see Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, which I don't have much to say about it other than I need to watch it a second time. Like I honestly, like, it was basically, I think it basically came down to kind of what Sharpie was saying before, where he was like, it's a good movie, but like obviously there's gonna be holes and stuff like that in it. But I think just going off of my experience with episode 7 and 8 and just how much I enjoyed them, actually, and Rogue One, and how much I enjoyed them like the second time I watched them. I think like right now I was like, okay, that was a good movie. It was mildly entertaining or whatever, which is kind of what I felt about The Last Jedi. So I'm just going to wait a little while and then watch it again to see how I feel about it. But overall, like I said, I was entertained. But yeah, other than that, that was kind of my week, other than just working and a couple of times like just having dinner with, friends and stuff like that. So what about you, Sharpie?
For me, I was mostly trying to figure out how to improve, like get more physically fit, I guess. So like most of my week was like was catered towards that, but I also like about half of that was spending time like just looking at CES stuff, which we will be talking about next. But other than that, like I was playing more Outer Worlds for the first time in like 2-3 weeks, and I came to the conclusion that I'm like, I don't know if I can finish this game because there's just too many things to do. There's too many side quests that I just keep getting distracted by. So I don't know if I will end up finishing it or not. I mean, I heard that it's a really short game if you just
I was gonna say, can't you just like mainline it?
Yeah, if you just mainline it, yeah.
Well, why don't you do that?
Yeah, but then like, for some reason my head just trails off. It's like saying, oh, I want to know more about this, and then like I just never end up finishing it.
Oh, I'm just saying mainly like if you want to at least get one playthrough in, you could always mainline it and then be like, okay, the next time I play this, then I'll do side quests. But at least it's not like I don't think I'll ever finish the game.
Do you know if like you hit credits, if like you don't go back, or if it's like it just stops right there and you have to start over, or do you know anything like that?
I do not. Okay. I don't know.
Like, you finished it, right, LadyInfamous?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I gotta have the same problem that Sharpie had. It was the side quests was just burying me.
Yeah, it's really hard to like stay focused on the main story. Or actually, no, some of the main story quests requires you to do some side quests. It says like, okay, finish these 3 side quests in order for you to continue on with this part. Stuff like that happens. And then you trail off doing those side quests. But then like as you're doing the side quests, they say like saying, oh, in order for me to give this to you to finish this side quest, I need you to do this for me, right? And then it's like you end up doing more side quests, like a side quest. Stuff like that ends up happening.
You get buried in the sides. That's what I think.
Yeah, so it's like I'm having a hard time just trying to like stay focused on the actual, like main story itself. Because there's just so much to do, and then like eventually I got to the point where I'm like, God damn, I don't know if I can keep going because like, I was like, I just want to finish the damn game. So yeah, so I'm like contemplating if I should finish it or not, because Bloodstain is just here staring me in the face, just saying like, play me on the Game Pass.
On Game Pass, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, so I might end up just doing that next, just playing Bloodstained, and then I also have Wastelands 2 staring me in the face too on Game Pass.
I don't even know if I know what Wastelands is.
Yeah,
did we see that?
I never played a Wasteland
E3 at some point?
We saw Wasteland 3 on.
Yeah, we saw Wasteland 3.
Okay,
which is also on Game Pass.
Okay, but 2, you've always wanted to play that or something?
No, I just looked at it and I'm like saying, yeah, I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you like doing the side quests of Outer Worlds. I mean, I know it's like, oh, there's so much to do, but if you like playing it, I still feel like that's a good game if you're buried in side quests, but you like doing it.
Yeah, no, I think the main problem is that like there's just so like for I guess in my mind it's like there's just like I start forgetting things like oh wait, what was this person talking about again? It's like, you know, because there's just just doing so much side quests that it's like, oh wait, who was this person that this person's talking about? I don't even remember what this person was even, or who this was, or what this was, when especially when you're reading like, you know, messages and all that. I'm like saying, crap, I don't even remember who this was or what this was even about.
Yeah, you remember the main plot that you were on like a week ago? Yeah, let's get back to that. Do you remember everything that happened? Pop quiz. Hope you pass. No, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so
like
there's
really
that big problems trying to remember everything, because it's just like I just finished 10 side quests, and then like, you know, there's a side quest, you know, trail, right, where it's just like, oh yeah, remember this guy from this side quest? Yeah, so here's that. I'm like, I don't remember that at all. There's just too many names in that game.
Right. One of those games that you have to like envelope yourself into the entire world and kind of just bleed it dry and take everything in.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like, I feel like that's like the biggest problem for me with, you know, like it's starting to become in this open world games these days. There's just too many characters to remember. And they're all short term too.
Right.
Well, anyways, so yeah, that was my week. Oh yeah, I'm also doing like a, what do you call it? Like a semi water fast this week. I want to see if that actually would help me with certain aspects of my working out.
A water fasting? Like you don't drink water?
No. It like you only drink water.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, except for you're not trying to lose weight though, right?
Well, I'm also been gaining a lot of fat percentage that I've noticed. So I'm like,
chubby
okay,
over
I need
there
to.
these days?
Hmm?
So you chubby over there these days? You ain't tell us?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did gain 10 pounds in this past 2 months. So I'm like, okay, I gotta check my, like, you know, my scale to see if it's like my weight, my fat percentage, my water percentage, my bone mass, and my muscle mass. And I'm like, oh shoot, my fat percentage has gone up. So
Yeah, but you were running like crazy, haven't you?
yeah. I think this is like part of the progress when you're starting out.
That you gain fat?
Or yeah, like your body's trying to like contemplate, like your body's like saying, wait, which one am I supposed to burn first? Because you just started running like very consistently. So
I don't think I've ever run into that, but okay.
yeah. Anyways, so let's get on with CES. Did you guys watch it or see anything?
I saw I only saw something about 8K TVs and a couple
More
of VR
8K
stuff.
TVs.
Huh?
It's like 8K TVs and more 8K TVs and more 8K TVs.
I mean, yeah, I think it was just a video that I watched on Samsung's 8K TVs. And then I saw some headlines about some VR stuff. That's all I know about it.
Like what VR stuff did you see?
It was something that was the company called Tesla something, or it's a glove, and I think they also, I don't think they showed off, but they were talking about a haptic suit or torso piece.
Yeah, I figured that was coming soon.
Yeah, so like the gloves, they look really, really weird, because it's a normal glove, but they have like these, so picture this, you know, those like really, really, really long like fingernails that kind of just look like claws, but they're like jokingly long. But
When they start to like curl up.
Yeah, but like I guess there are like some movies that like make the fake nails that are really really long, but they don't curl, but they're just really long.
Like you can't put the tip of it on the bottom of your palm, right?
Pretty much. Well, put that like that end so that it's going to not like so it's bending backwards like over the top of your hand to your wrist,
or it's over curved kind of deal,
right? So that's all it looks like. It's just a glove with plastic pieces on each one of your digits that go back over your hand, and it's supposed to simulate hand feeling. So like, you know, if you go to grab a cup, you can actually feel the cup in your hand. Or if you, I guess, hold a sword, you can hold the sword in your hand and you feel it in the grip. Something like that. It's just supposed to simulate haptic feeling in like in the hands and on the fingers and everything. And then the suit, I only saw a picture of the suit, but it was just a torso piece that they had. I say a torso piece. It looks like a shirt, like a Under Armour shirt,
exoskeleton fabric suit, right?
I don't know what you mean by that, but it looks like an Under Armour shirt. Like what you work for working out. That's all it looks like. So again, haptic feedback, that's all I saw about it, but and I didn't read up on it.
Yeah, like I said, I was assuming that'd probably be the next wave for VR is like when the haptic feedback stuff starts coming out. Do you remember if they mentioned like how far away from how far in development they are on it?
Not that I know of. Oh, okay. So for the Tesla, so it's the Tesla gloves. Will hit the market in the second half of 2020. And then.
Damn, VR coming in hard.
Yeah. So the Tesla suit. I'm not sure. I don't think they had something for that, or maybe it's at the same time. Quickly going over these notes, but yeah, I don't know about the actual suit. But here, let me post a picture of the glove so you guys know what I'm talking about, because it looks totally bionic.
Yeah, it's like a finger on top of another finger.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing was like it not only like haptic feedback, like when you touch something in VR, but also weight. Like it's supposed to simulate some weight to it too.
So they could have some VR like fitness games.
You could.
You look ridiculous because you're not actually lifting anything, but you're like struggling.
Yeah, right. Imagine like trying to do like bench presses and like trying to do 200 pounds. You're like holding nothing in the camera, but like it's just like, it's so weird.
And then the piece of plastic is just weighing you down.
Yeah. But so haptic display, touch effect, texture effect, motion capture, force feedback, spatial effect, resistance effect, vibration effect. So yeah, even it's supposed to simulate some sort of weight too. But the future's here, and T, you're about to get the VR experience you've always wanted.
That's what I'm waiting for. Then I can have my VR waifus. Like, ooh, that's like, it's just like real hair.
Just like real hair. And then like haptic smell. Is that what you want? It smells like real hair. I'm gonna pass on that one. Okay.
I'll pass on that one.
You guys are weird.
You know what? You love us.
You're gonna be right there with us. It might not be a waifu, but you probably gonna be riding your like VR unicorn.
Maybe. There's for CES 2020, I have to first like take a look at what, cause there's not really much like video game aspects in this trade show, but They did show the PlayStation 5 logo, which was, I'm like, this it?
We should talk about this actually.
Yeah, I want to talk about this too.
Keep going.
There's a couple of, I should have said that last on my thing, but there's a couple of items that I did see that piqued my interest. Like there's this monitor called the Samsung Odyssey G9, which is like a big ass monitor with a 1000R curve. It has a 5120 by 1440 resolution, 240 hertz refreshment rate, 1 millisecond response, and FreeSync and G-Sync capabilities. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, why don't you tell me how much that costs?
It's a super ultra wide, right?
Yeah,
that's what it's looking like. There's also I saw the Mercedes concept car, and
the Avatar.
The Avatar. Okay, I'm sorry. The Sony concept car, and then I also took a look at the Mercedes fantasy car. I'm sorry, but that Mercedes fantasy car was really good. Even though it's
Do you know where the idea came from?
The movie Avatar, right?
Yeah, and James Cameron was there.
And it's not practical at all. It's a straight stunt car. Versus the Sony Vision S, it's like
a car.
A car. Like a Honda Accord or something like that.
So let's talk about the Sony car. What do you guys think of it?
The Sony car?
Yeah. Do you think you can trust Sony on a car?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess like would I be one of the first people to buy it? No, but I assume the idea was more showcasing use of like Sony entertainment technology and stuff like that inside a car. Like I don't think I assume they wouldn't make the car, but they might want to partner with another automaker and be like, okay, here's how you could get like some of our stuff into your car.
Okay, so this is how I think about like the Sony's take on cars, right? Is because we're starting to slowly move into electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And most of these, current car manufacturers, they're so used to combustion engines.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Since you're the car guy, I'm pretty sure you know that. And then what is the biggest R&D payment budget that goes into vehicles? Probably the combustion engine.
Oh yeah, from model to model, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And now that that's going away, and Sony is so used to electronics, and what are they really good at doing?
Electronics? I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, mostly it's cameras and video and gaming console.
Video, screens, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Mostly cameras, right? That's what they're modernly most well known for. Like audio and, actual television screen, that's kind of like fading away, I feel like, unless they do something drastic.
Sorry,
because Samsung and LG is like, the king of that right now.
Say that one more time? I think I missed it.
Like television.
Yeah.
And like radio or like, audio.
Their division of television and audio is what's going away, is what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's not going away, but it's like, tier 2 type of things.
Right. They're going to put it on their B team.
Yeah. But they're really good at cameras. And what are cars really are like electronic cars starting to?
They have like they're starting to have the front and rear cameras on them, and that would be super helpful for I guess for the car market. And you talk about like their screens and their cameras and their televisions. The dashboard on this, is it one entire screen? Like I'm looking at this and like, yeah, I think except for like behind the driver, the steering wheel.
It looks like it's one.
Like right next to the steering wheel, it's another screen Oh, it's divided into 3 different screens,
yeah,
I think.
there's another one on the other side too.
Yeah, so essentially it is kind of like one huge giant screen for the dashboard. That's really weird. I'm just like not used to that at all.
It looks cool.
Yeah, but that kind of like, I mean, I guess number one is, as from what I saw, like I don't think Sony has even mentioned like they literally have any intention of getting into like the auto industry, but I think
call it the DriveStation.
That's actually really good.
I think
I heard that somewhere, and I'm just forwarding that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. Like, I guess when I look at it, like just in terms of practicality, like I don't know well, outside of what you said, Sharpie, where it's like, oh well, Sony's like they're good at cameras and stuff like that, which is obviously like integral with, especially with like self-driving and all that kind of stuff, like becoming more and more important in the future, and obviously like cameras for safety and even like backup cameras. Cameras are kind of becoming part of cars at this point, so I get that they might make a play for that, but like just even in terms of like practicality, like I don't know. Like I'm looking at this screen, for example, and it's like, what do you do with a screen that big? Like
I don't on it. While
What's
driving,
that?
you
watch stuff on it. Yeah, exactly. But you can't do that while you're driving.
Yeah,
no, but
the idea is like you go on Park and then you can start watching something.
No, I think like maybe two of the screens will be like using for basic mechanics of driving, like gas intake, battery life, and then probably the screen on the right is probably going to be like blank, or probably can be an entertainment capabilities for the passenger of the car.
Yeah, but they can't. I think as far as I know, like in the front seat, you can't have any video playing in a car.
Oh, really?
While you're driving.
Yeah, while you're driving.
Yeah.
Then it could be blank then.
On this video,
like or a map.
You got your map all the way on the far right side of the car. Gotta lean over to look at it.
This video that I'm watching, behind the steering wheel, it has all the stats that you usually have in the car. But then on the middle screen, it does have the GPS and the map.
Yeah, of course.
On the very right, I actually can't tell what it is, and I think it might be audio stuff. I'm not really sure. But of course, you'll be able to swap like the middle and the right one and do whatever you want with it. But I think the far right one can be, or like, I don't know. I see that it might be audio all the way on the right, or it's just like it's the sub menu for when you have the GPS open and stuff. And obviously, like nobody's gonna reach all the way across their car just to.
I'm sure it'd be customizable. Like, yeah, it's not. You might be able to put the GPS on the far right when you have a passenger, and then have it closer to you when you're like solo driving or something. I'm sure it'd be customized. Well, that's how they all work, but
right. Yeah. But from this description, they said that the company wants to be more involved in the worlds of electric and autonomous vehicles. So while this is a concept car, and they're just looking for like for people to support and money and everything like that. And they're kind of invested in not really just like, oh, here's like some idea that we have. Let's just shove a whole bunch of stuff into a car. It's like, no, they like want to make this car specifically. I think.
Oh, wait, say that again. You said they want to make this car specifically?
Yeah.
Or it's not like they want to. Okay.
Because it says here, instead of ideas in a hunk of plastic, it said it was a concept car and called it a day. Instead, the company chose to spend the time and money creating a one-off that worked, thereby signaling to potential partners and customers just how willing it is to commit to the bit.
Yeah, but I guess what I would think is like, it's not necessarily that they're saying we want to make this car, but they're just kind of saying like, we're not going to tell you that our technology can work with the electric cars of the future and just expect you to believe it. We built a prototype to show you that our tech can work with an actual functioning car.
Right.
I think that's kind of what they're saying. So like Sharpie was saying, it's kind of a play to say like Sony can partner up with these automakers to have Sony technology in these new cars of the future. And they're just showing you like, yeah, it actually works. It's not like, we're telling you, oh, we're Sony and we make monitors, therefore we can make something work for your car. They're like, yeah, we can show you right now that it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I genuinely don't think they're trying to get into the auto. That's a rough industry to get into.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be really rough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys,
if I had that money, I would have got that Avatar themed car from Mercedes. So
that little weird control on the middle of the like. With your right
if I had
hand or
like
something.
money, if I was rich or if I won a lot or something, I would buy that car.
I mean, yeah.
I totally would. I would totally buy this car.
Just to show it off in the streets, like go out at night. It's a 2-seater, so I'm cool with that. So,
put what's funny though?
What?
I just think of it, that just reminds me of like, do y'all remember when somebody, I think it might have been like a concept or maybe somebody just built one, but somebody had like a working prototype of the Tron cycle, the light cycle. I feel like it'd be kind of like that, where it's like you get it and you're like, oh, it looks so badass, but like you forget that it's a concept car and it just kind of doesn't work in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, oh, I'm driving in San Francisco, just chilling, but like it can only go like 27 miles an hour or something.
With ultra wide wheels.
Exactly. Your wheels, like one of your wheels gets a nail in it and it's like $18,000 to fix the wheel.
Oh wow, why you gotta be like that? You always gotta mess up a dream. I swear. God, Jesus Christ. But the interior looks good. On Sony's concept car, I mean, look, if they can, like someone said, I think it was you, Unsheath, or you, Zeldrick, that they have to like collaborate with a car company in order for this to work. Am I right? Who said that?
Yeah, I think that's their plan.
Yeah, that's the best plan. But Sony just shows their logo though. That's it. And people on the internet was going stupid retarded.
I honestly think that was the only problem with it.
What?
Was the fact that they had to make an announcement of here's the official announcement of our logo. It's like if we just saw a PS5, you're like, okay, so that's the PS5 logo, but it's like, here's the new logo, and it's like literally the exact same thing.
Okay, so let's talk about the logo.
Let's talk about the logo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the first PlayStation, it looks pretty cool for its time, right? It signified PlayStation with a big P and a downward S, and it signified 3D.
Right.
Cool, right? The PlayStation 2 logo, it looks really cool, and it looks vastly different, right?
Like the blue gradient.
Yeah, the blue-green gradient.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? It was thin. It looked futuristic.
Okay.
It looked really cool.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3, I was like, this looks like Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like the what was that director's name? With the first 3 Spider-Man films.
Jesus Christ, Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. Yeah, it looks like the Spider-Man logo from those movies.
Yeah, and I think it's called a Spider-Man logo.
Oh, okay.
Or Spider-Man font or something like that.
You mean like the PS3 or the way they wrote PlayStation?
The way they wrote PlayStation 3 on
that's definitely the same Spider-Man font. I don't know about the PS3 though. Right? Is that?
Yeah, it was definitely the PS3, and then there was the PS3 Lite or Pro or whatever the hell it was called.
Just Slim.
Or Slim, yeah. It was that one was like they changed the logo. They kind of changed the logo on that too, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was the PlayStation 3. Like when they did Slim, is when they started just using that same font for it. Like with the PSP, like PSP, and then because it's all like boxed or sharp edges, kind of like the PS2, and then they just kind of curved the letters for PS3 for the Slim, and now the PS4 has like pretty much the same one, and now it's this PS5, and it's the same one, it's the same font. They didn't change anything.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah, I remember I saw a tweet somewhere like after the PS5 logo like was released. I forgot who it was, but then I saw like the one where it was like the original PlayStation logo, but you know how the S looks kind of like the 5, and then like underneath it is like a neon light of a 5 that follows the S logo, the S of the original PlayStation logo.
Wait, what? This is something somebody made on their own?
Yeah, somebody made on their own. I was like, that could have been cool.
Right. Like,
do you guys care about a logo?
No.
No, I don't.
God, no.
Honestly, yeah, I was gonna say honestly. That's why I was like, to me, the only thing was that they actually made the official logo announcement a thing. Like, if
but do you think out of everything, do you think CES is the right place to announce or talk about PlayStation?
They should have had more than a logo.
Yeah,
they did have more than a logo.
What did they have? What they had?
They talked about everything that's going to be under the hood of the PlayStation 5.
Do you have what's under the hood?
So, it's going to have a solid state drive.
Assume that, yeah.
Right. I think they also talked about the processor. They had it on one screen.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
God, where is it? Because like it talked about the processor, it talked about the hard drive, it talked about also, and I don't think it was announced before this, but also Type-C charging cables.
That's nice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hardware features: 3D audio sound, which isn't that more than 5.1? Isn't that 7.1?
I don't know.
Can you repeat that again?
3D audio sound.
It should be 7.1.
Well,
technically it could be 5.1 too.
Right.
Yeah,
huh.
but
7.1 just gives you more options.
Yeah, I just think for the next generation, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a 5.1.
So the ultra high speed solid state drive, hardware based ray tracing. So like the RTX graphics cards that we have now, that just came out. Ultra HD Blu-ray, and then haptics adaptive triggers.
You talking about triggers?
Okay, so now we're talking about the controller now. Yeah.
Right. So just like how like the gloves I was talking about, how you're supposed to have some sort of pressure that it forces back on you. That's what the triggers are going to that they have working with the controllers. So I guess it'll be harder to pull the trigger, or if you're trying to, I guess, like say if you're in a lock pick or whatever, like if you try to pick it and try to hit one of the triggers, it's not going to let you do it until like I guess pressure sensitivity, where you meet some requirement and then it gets then it loosens and you'll be able to trigger it. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, you know what haptics and shit like that means. And I think that's the one thing to really that's a weird one to put on your controllers is adaptive triggers, like haptics. Like, why?
Well, I'm pretty sure by the time we get it, and then we were like saying, "Oh, I get it now."
Yeah,
it's one of those things, probably.
I don't know. They had that touchpad. They used to have they have that touchpad on the PS controller that, like, I still haven't figured out why it's there.
But how does it help you play games?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's there, and it's like, does it actually ever play out to being, oh, well, this is gonna somehow impact your games?
Yeah, because you can turn pages with those things, right?
There were a couple of games that with the touchpad that I actually did like, that they implemented that sort of thing into it.
Did they use that on like Flower?
I didn't play Flower on PS4.
What's the other one? The one in the desert.
Journey.
Did they use it on where did they? I don't remember anywhere where they used that. They didn't use it on Journey. I didn't play Journey.
That I did. It was good game.
But like, how did they use the touchpad for that one? Do you remember?
I'm just asking because it's like kind of, I'm thinking of the types of games where I would imagine somebody would want to sort of experiment with different types of, like, I don't know, with different features on the controller versus the standard, just like pressing buttons. And I would assume it would be something like that. But I don't remember. I honestly don't remember actually having to use that touchpad.
Not on Journey. I don't think so. I don't remember. Using the touchpad.
Okay.
Well, I guess for the touchpad, like, I kind of like having to like pressing one side does something, pressing the other side does something else, opens a different menu. And I mean, I know you joke about like swiping to like turn the page or some shit like that, but I kind of like that. It's a little bit more entertaining for me to have to do that. But or like you like press one part of it, or you left or right, and it like sends a pulse out for like a sonar. I don't know. I just gimmicky shit. There's only a couple of times where I was like, okay, I can get with this, but then there are other times it's like, oh, it's just a different menu function. Okay. So
you know what would be amazing?
what?
If they somehow use like the feedback when you're pulling the trigger for a shooter.
Yeah.
So like maybe the controller rumbled, but also like it would give you a little bit of resistance while you were holding the trigger down, so that you kind of like felt it a little bit more.
Right.
That'd be kind of interesting. See how many people actually could keep the trigger held down.
Right. I think I mean, as far as for like the gimmicky shit for like the touchpad, I think the most entertaining part, or the one that I think worked really well for me, wasn't on a PS4 game. It was actually playing Elite Dangerous on my computer and using a PS4 controller with it, because like naturally it's going to read the touchpad as using the mouse. Yeah. So in that game, what I had it set to was like when you press you had two different types of like camera moving when you're in your ship. It's like either you're turning the ship, or you have to look around the window or around to other panels on your ship. And so if I click the touchpad to enter that mode, or to enter the mode to look around my ship, I touch the touchpad to enter that view mode, and then I drag around on the touchpad to look around. And I thought that was just really cool, and that was just some sort of thing I found out how to do, and finagling with trying to control on Elite Dangerous. I think that's the most entertainment and like the best experience I've had with the touchpad on the PS4, and it wasn't even for a PS4 game. So we'll see how this plays out, but I think this is, I mean, everything after the PS5 logo. Yes, please talk about it, but talk about it in depth, not like, oh, here's like some short shit about what we're going to put into it. No, actually go into what you're putting into it. I think the most in-depth was the hardware-based ray tracing. That's the most technical we got out of this announcement, or the talk about the PS5. They didn't even talk about it, I don't think.
I mean, that might be going along with what Sharpie was saying. Maybe they're like CES. They didn't figure CES was the right place to like really go into details about what's under the hood. So they're just like, they announce some stuff, and maybe like E3 or something, they'll like announce all the actual technical specs of it.
When is, so E3 is in middle of the year. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I think that'll be the time they announce everything about the PS5.
They should. I swear they should. There's whispers that they're not trying to do nothing this year, but I don't believe it at all.
Well, especially after they were like, oh yeah, we're not going to do E3s anymore. We're going to do our state of plays or whatever the fuck. Or did they say that was the only thing they were doing for last E3?
Oh, actually, I didn't even think about that. Maybe it won't be E3. Maybe it's just going to be state of play.
No, I think they need a bigger state of play is not going to be enough reach for as far as what they're trying to put out there. This is a new next gen console. They gotta touch hands and kiss babies and shake hands of noobs that stand in line and play games all day at E3. I'm telling you.
I mean, here's the question though. So when you think about it, the people who know about E3, a lot of the people who know about E3 are like, that would be curious about the info about the PlayStation, are probably gamers who already know that a PlayStation 5 is coming. So do they really need to do that?
Yes.
Like, because I imagine myself, for example, I'm like, I'm not going to E3, and if they don't tell me about it at E3 while I'm watching at home, I'm just going to learn about it on the internet anyway. I'm wondering if it's kind of like, if it's as relevant anymore. E3 specifically. I don't know.
I feel like that E3 would be the perfect opportunity to be able to show off their PlayStation 5 and here's all this shit. He like lay it all on the table. Be like, this is what we're giving you.
That's what they did last year with Xbox at the Microsoft Theater. They showed their xCloud. They showed their new games. They showed the controller. They showed the hell shit gave away Game Pass codes like a motherfucker. But at least they tried to put it out there, you know?
At CES?
No, at E3 last year. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because of
You saying that's what Microsoft did?
Mm-hmm.
So that's to go along with my question. So Microsoft did, Sony didn't. Do you think that impacted them over the last year?
I think so.
Okay.
Impacted Sony?
Sony, yeah, the fact that they weren't there last year.
I think it just leaves everybody wondering and questioning. I don't know about like impacting them negatively. It's more like just putting them up on kind of like on the stand and be like, okay, what about you guys? What are you going to do? When are you going to announce it? Like, when are you going to talk about it? And I think they're breadcrumbing all this, and eventually it's got to pay off.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, because Sony has to really think about what they do, because like imagine if they put out like their PlayStation 5 and it's fully backwards compatible with PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. You know how valuable old PlayStation 1 games and 2 games are going to be if they end up doing that?
So I'm going to tag on to that and say that there was a leak that says that it is, and not like, oh, it's just a rumor or some shit like that. Supposedly it's a leak that this is what is gonna happen. It's fully backwards compatible with 4, 3, 2, and 1.
I don't know. That's an interesting leak. I don't know why somebody would do that in 2020, considering.
Well, I mean, it might be hard for them to do 3 because, you know, it is run on a cell processor.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know why you do it, considering like they have stuff like PlayStation Now.
Well, PlayStation Now hasn't been. It ain't like it's successful though.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but they have functionality where they can like basically get you to buy the game again. Like, I don't feel like I've ever seen really somebody make something. Well, maybe not ever, but I feel like it's not really the trend for people to make a console that is compatible with some stuff that they could have you buy again and call it retro, or say that it's like they could give you an HD remake or something like that. Like, I don't know, like why would you make it PlayStation 1 compatible? That's an interesting choice. Maybe it is. I don't know. I just don't know why. Like, why do you guys think they would do that?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? I didn't hear you.
Just out of curiosity, if you guys have any insight in terms of why you think they would make their console compatible with every generation of PlayStation.
Because they want to have the success of Microsoft. Because as much as people talk mess about it,
Microsoft can't do it.
What they all their games is backwards compatible since the first Xbox.
Oh yeah, that's what they said on the new Xbox.
No, we had it. No, like with the Xbox One X, they got Xbox games, 360 games, and regular Xbox One games in 4K. So I think they should do backwards compatible, but
maybe I didn't notice. That's for real.
Yeah, like a couple. There's not a lot of titles on the first Xbox, but there's a few that you can be able to play on your Xbox One X.
So they've been like going through and doing that same sort of thing of like that they did before. I think it was with the I guess they're still doing it kind of maybe with the Xbox One, the original one, and the Xbox 360, where they were going back and making games work with it.
Yeah.
But they're doing that all the way back to the original Xbox.
There was like maybe 2 titles, I want to say. Let me see which one.
Like at the very start of it, I think it was only like a couple of titles, but they've expanded the backwards compatibility with the Xbox One.
With the 360.
Well, sure, I know that. I definitely know
titles,
that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about like the original Xbox. Plus, that's only one generation for the Microsoft. For PlayStation, you're talking like 4. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I mean, to kind of route back to your question, Sharpie. Yeah, this probably isn't the right place, which is probably why they didn't say much.
There's 39 titles on the original Xbox that's backwards compatible.
Only 3?
No, I said 39.
39.
39. Oh.
Okay. Did you guys see anything else at CES?
Yes, a 360 hertz monitor, because really.
Let's say, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, I can, dude, you have to actively look for that, I think.
Yeah.
There's no way that I'm going to be able to distinguish between like 144 to 360. I barely can't even tell the difference between 144 to 240.
Yeah, this is entirely a specific market for esports. It's entirely that. And I was watching a video on this, and I was reading some demographics on like the rate of improvement in first-person shooter games. Like, it jumps dramatically from 60 to 90 to 120, and then it drops drops more on 144, and it drops even more of a percentage. I think it was like a 9% improvement or a 6% improvement when you go from 144 to 240. Is that what the number was? 260? 240?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't think I looked up on that research.
Okay. But then like on the 360 hertz monitor, it was like maybe only a 4% improvement.
Oh yeah, I think I read that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, to all of us, everybody that's on the casual side of things, yeah, that 360 hertz monitor, it's not going to do us any good. We're not going to distinguish that. But for all these people that know what these different frame rates look like, have a very, very good eye, and or are very into like esports, it's what they're doing, it's their hobby, or they're actually in the big leagues, that 360 hertz, that's who it's geared towards.
Okay, so I was watching a video by I think it was Harris Heller. Anyways, so he said he got to try it using the Counter-Strike double door test.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what the double door test is?
Oh, okay. So I heard. I know what you're talking about. It's on Dust, right?
Dust 2, yeah.
Dust 2, and there is a hallway that has the 2 doors, and it's a very, very common sniping point. And
yeah,
it's
because
someone jumping
T and
through
CT
it.
side are like that. The T side can immediately look down that bid section and through these double doors. And to see if counter terrorists are crossing over or not.
Right. And the test is, in this specifically in the video, was a guy jumping all the way from in the back, from the right side to the left side, to show just the smoothness or whatever between these 2 different monitors.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically the double door test is like how well you react between between you looking between like the actual model like moving from right to left and you shooting at the model and actually hitting him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because it's so slim, right?
Right.
So that's why it's called the double door test. And yeah, people tend to like benchmark people based on that, on their reaction time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Counter-Strike, it's very responsive, right? Like, I think we can all agree that Counter-Strike is very, very responsive when it comes to like when you actually do anything when it comes to shooters.
Right. Yeah. It's I mean, I'm putting this very lightly, the least forgiving when it comes to first-person shooters.
Yeah. So yeah, so they did that. Another test that they did with these 360 hertz monitors is like, a game like, those isometric games like Dota and League of Legends.
Yeah.
So they did a what do you call it? A comprehension test. And you'll be like, wait, what? Why does reading have to do anything with gaming? So what they did was in isometric games, right? Like basically you can scroll the screen from left to right, like like StarCraft and like, you know, all these
RTS games
and MOBA games, right?
Yeah.
Basically, it wasn't meant for like looking at the enemies, but seeing like the names of the players and stuff like that,
Right.
based on the speed of the, you know, the movement of the camera. Yeah, the scroll. And that was kind of night and day between 144 to 360.
Okay. So they were testing between 144 and 360?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, there's that. Another one that I saw, if anybody else wants to pinch in on what else they saw at CES.
I got you. The Alienware concept UFO.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Go on.
It's a prototype gaming PC but handheld.
The Nintendo Switch for PC.
Yeah, it's a full-fledged Windows 10 PC packed in this big. It's bigger than the Switch, to be honest with you. It has a display. It will connect. It will also connect to your PC monitor, and they do have detachable Joy-Con controllers and a kickstand. So they really bit off Nintendo Switch on this one. But Alienware is what they'll own it, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Dell bought Alienware.
Okay, so I know I can't afford Alienware right now, so I hear, you know, that they're a good company to make PCs. So for them to be a handheld, they really trying to how far are the capabilities that can go with that handheld?
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was like it was streaming to the actual device, but no, it's actually running off the device itself.
Yeah. So I can play
I was
Rim.
like, oh shit,
I can play
that's crazy.
I can play RimWorld on that handheld. You know what I mean? Or, you know, one of these big ass games that I can't play on my current PC, but it's smaller. But I mean, that's not bad as far as the power capabilities of that handheld compared to the Switch. The thing about it with me is, is it just for games, or can you load up to your browser? Can you stream online or go shopping, something like this? I wanted to know if this is strictly for gaming, and if it is strictly for gaming, what outlets they're gonna do? Are they gonna put it Steam based, Epic, or Ubisoft, or Origins? You know, that's what I'm worried about. But based on the video that I saw, they already have like a soccer game, and Mortal Kombat on the Alienware. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is nothing really super new. I think Razer did something similar.
Well, it's new to me.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting the name.
Like
of
made
it,
a computer in a handheld like this?
It was like, basically, yeah. I mean, not in this exact same fashion, but like basically a handheld PC gaming device.
Not like the NVIDIA Shield?
That's what I was thinking of, actually, the NVIDIA Shield. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, so that's different because that's streaming your your game shit from your computer to your device,
or through NVIDIA's what do you call it, cloud play thing that they had for like two or 3 years.
Yeah, but this seems like it's like completely different. That is a entire computer that is in the form of a Switch, and I think LadyInfamous. What you were saying with doing more than just playing games, I'm pretty sure you will be able to, because I mean, while all these are concepts from CES, there are a bunch of screenshots and video footage of that. It's a desktop on that screen, and you can go into the start menu and launch stuff or whatever. So it may just, I think it's just a Windows 10 computer that's run on a handheld, but the point of it being for gaming.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
But then how much is that thing gonna cost? Though?
You know, anything from CES is expensive. Can we just get that out of the way? I don't think any of these items that we've been talking about for the last hours are modern.
Okay, so here's another thing that can follow up on this.
Like what?
I think it's a good segue. Is Intel's graphics card was shown.
Let's see. What was
That
it called?
tiny ass graphics card.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's still big for like a device like that, but I think like if Intel can actually pull off this time, because I remember last time they actually tried to make a graphics card, it shit the bed.
Oh, this. I remember seeing this tiny little brick. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking of. Like, did they put out any stats for it?
No, I think the idea is, what do you call it? Because for the longest time, like, remember how like Intel's integrated graphics on motherboards and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like that was like a thing that everybody just kind of accepted that it was just gonna, it's as far as it's gonna be. I think they're trying to make it so like their motherboards and CPU is able to do more.
Okay.
And I think this is like their step into that direction. I could be wrong, but I feel like this is what they're planning on doing. And then I think based on that, of what I just said, like that Alienware's UFO might even be better from that.
The only thing I can see about what was going on with this graphics card, in terms of power, it found that Intel's demo was running Destiny 2 at a locked 60 frames at 1080. Not talking about anything of what the, graphics settings were or anything like that. Just that it exists and it can do that. So
yeah.
But I don't know if that's really a good benchmarker for like Destiny 2. Just because, like, as far as I remember, is Destiny 2 for PC, it like they meant for it to run on PC, and like it's designed well on PC. So like, while it does look very pretty, I still don't think that's a good benchmarker for it. But we'll see. I think this is more supposed to be like a multi-purpose card rather than like, oh, it's for high performance or some shit like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see about that. Still kind of early.
You sound kind of like not fazed by it, Sharpie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Like, it's Intel. They've been shitting the bed lately.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, like they're not doing well at all. They're doing a very poor job on their processor market. So, that's all we could say.
Okay, so here's another thing that I saw, something super interesting.
Yeah.
Before I get into it, does anybody else want to saw that they saw, or say something that they saw?
On what?
CES.
Oh no, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else.
The 292-inch modular TV.
You only had me at modular.
Yeah. So basically, it's an 8K television. If I remember correctly, I think it's Samsung, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Samsung 292 TV. Yeah, it was definitely Samsung. Yeah, and it's modular. So basically, like, you can make it as small or as big as you want, and it's bezel-less.
Oh, okay. I saw the bezel-less. Well, I'm looking through a list of these.
Yeah, they call it the wall. Not the wall at the bottom of our country, like the wall. Yeah.
The bezel-less 8K. Okay. But what do you mean you can make it as big or as small as you want?
So basically, I think the idea is like, oh, okay, so it's like, oh, do you want an extra 12 inches onto your monitor? Here's some modular tables that you can just connect onto the television. And if something's broken on part of the television, you don't have to replace the entire television. You can just take that part out and then just replace it in with another one.
So
where's this TV going?
What? Like, are they selling the TV or the desk too, or the stand?
No, I think it just goes onto a wall.
Okay. So like, what do you do if like some piece of it breaks? You like just chop off like the top right corner of it if that's missing part of the screen and just send it back?
Yeah, instead of the entire display itself.
How do you wait? So what is it, like a projector sort of thing?
No, it's a television. They use micro LED.
How do you take that apart though?
So you don't take it apart, you put it together. Yeah, and then you can actually take it apart because you were able to put it together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild. 292 inches. That's crazy.
Yeah. That is wild. I'm looking at something for this, but I'm not able to get that much information from speeding through this video.
Oh, it's not so bad. It's like installed. It's like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
I
terrible.
mean, for just one display, I'm pretty sure it's like $10,000 or something.
Yeah, that's my pocketbook can't handle that. LadyInfamous might be able to get it though.
Excuse me? You know my pocket. Stop pocket checking. Stop pocket checking.
I think it's meant for things like, stadiums and stuff like that. Like if something breaks, right, they can always just replace a piece of that monitor instead of replacing the entire monitor.
I think that's the best application for this thing. Because like for like home use, you don't really, I mean, so like when you say like you build it yourself, could you like buy more parts for it later and add more screen?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I want a bigger monitor. It's like saying, okay, well, here's, I don't know, 4 more monitors that you have to buy, or 4 more like micro LED displays you have to buy, and you just attach it to the sides.
Huh. Okay. Well, I think this is a different form of like investing in a TV or a monitor and then making it bigger later on. Like, did they say anything about like the smallest that you could like size that you can buy it in?
Yeah, I think like the each display is 36 inches diagonally.
Oh, okay.
With a resolution of 960 by 540.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
so doesn't that mean
half of
like
1080?
Yeah, see, that's one of those things that kind of like it basically. I've seen it with like the 360 VR stuff I've done too, which kind of annoys me. Where it's like, the image, they'll be like it's a 8K image when it's all stitched together, but it's an 8K image because it's like a whole bunch of it's a whole bunch of like 2K images stitched together to HK resolution, but it doesn't look like 8K when you see the full. Right. You know what I mean? It's only 8K in size. So like, yeah, it's I don't know. I'm wondering how good that actually looks then if you have like half of like 1080 on each one of the individual screens. How does that look when it's all together? I don't know.
Speaking of 8K, because I have nothing else to say about this monitor, do you think it really matters right now?
No.
4K barely matters right now.
Yeah, 4K barely matters right now.
Yeah.
You know which country broadcasts their television in 8K?
It's only Japan, isn't it?
Pretty much only Japan, yeah. And I think parts of Italy or France, I forgot, it's one of those two.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't say we're not even to the point where our channels are all broadcast in 4K. So like getting an 8K, the TVs, I had mentioned this a long time ago. But like the TVs, it's just like it's impossible to keep up with like the tech. Well, it's possible for the media to keep up with the technology, or at least if it isn't impossible, we're just not doing it. So it's like it's nice that everybody has 4K TVs now, but half of them are watching like 1080 content. So it's not even that useful at this point.
I mean, I was seeing headlines for like 8K monitors and shit like that, and I was like, I haven't even been able to enjoy 4K in my own home. I mean, for me, like that shit's expensive.
Yeah, no, I think this is for those people. Yeah, I think this is for those people that goes shopping around for these television, and then they're like, those casual gamers that's more casual than us, where they'll just look at a television and say like, well, why is that 4K television cheaper than that one?
and they'll buy the cheaper one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, this is for the people who just want the bigger number every time they get a new one.
And this will drive those sales at fucking Costco or whatever that want to buy that TV for Super Bowl Sunday and then return it like a week later.
Yeah. I mean, because the other thing, if you think about it, it's actually it'd be kind of probably weird if, like, let's say they didn't start announcing 8K TVs and then all of a sudden there was just like this halt in the kind of the new TV cycle that we go through, like the new tech cycle for TVs that we go through. And all of a sudden, like for the next year, you see the same TV sitting in Best Buy. Like that would actually be kind of weird.
It would be weird, but I mean,
I wouldn't care, but I'm just saying, I think it would be a little weird.
well, obviously I don't care either, but I think that this is the last time we're going to be seeing a new development in like display for, just regular TVs for a long time.
16K television.
Shut the fuck up.
I guarantee you that's coming, dude.
No.
I guarantee it's coming.
I hope it comes in like 5 years from now.
I give it 2.
God damn it. No. Like, we're not going to be able to tell a difference.
I know, but think about cameras though. Like when everybody's saying like
different.
It's just increasing megapixels every time, right?
Right, but I feel like that
people don't care what that actually means.
Okay, people care what that means, but what I'm saying is that for what we should be seeing now after this announcement of these 8K televisions is, here's a huge section on cameras now. I'm recording 8K. I'm recording or taking pictures. Of course, that's
going to come
whatever.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm sure that we already have like the development of rendering shit in 8K and everything. I mean, like that.
Cameras are kind of up at they're at I think 6K is kind of becoming a standard at this point. So yeah, they're to a degree, stuff is kind of keeping up the pace, but I think like from what I've seen, the real driving factor is usually like television. It's like, do you get like, are people when they get those new TVs going to see anything different than what they saw with their last TV? Which if like the TV that they're watching, if it's still only broadcast in 1080, then getting that new TV isn't going to show them any different. So
yeah, unless you're actively looking for it, I don't know if it's really easy to tell.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm saying that like it should be like what we should be seeing now is the development of or these announcements or show-offs of these new cameras or these new movies or this technology of being able to hold to the consumer anyways, like these 8K movies or television or being able to broadcast all that stuff. Like it seems like that Japan has like the 8K services, but for the rest of the entire world, everywhere else, it seems like that either we're falling behind or just we're developing technology that we just don't need.
That's basically what it is.
Or it's more like I feel like 8K is a technology we don't need.
Just don't need it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that we don't need the 8K thing.
Cameras, I can see a use for it because VFX artists, right? Like it gives them more point of sections that they can use.
Yeah, it's more detail.
Yeah. For like motion tracking and stuff like that. Like I can see it for that, but televisions, nah.
Man, and even like fucking rendering games at 4K, like right now, that's already a hard thing to do. Imagine trying to render a game at 8K. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There's a video by Linus Tech Tips where he plays.
It's like 6 frames a second.
16 4K televisions, I think, and it makes it a 16K display.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was able to run like Civilization 6 for like at like 20 frames per second or something.
Yeah. Or I think we're just getting to displays that we just don't need right now.
Yep.
We have no reason for it.
Yeah. Okay, and I only have one more thing I want to talk about that might be useful in gaming, or it could be scary in gaming.
Okay.
There's this thing that I saw at CES called Neon.
So tell me about that, because I saw the headline for it.
So it's basically like Blade Runner AI.
Okay.
So, but it's not AI, but it's not quite, and it's kind of like a digital assistant, kind of like Google Assistant, Siri, and Alexa,
Yeah.
but not really digital assistants at all. It's kind of weird how they described it. And
So
it's like,
it's a artificial human. You have it, so it's like a like your Google Alexa that doesn't help you.
kind of, it actually has like a personality. It has a name like Frank, Hannah, Natasha, stuff like that. Right?
Ah, so your imaginary friend comes true.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're real actors behind that,
Okay.
right? But they use like deep fakery, like technology to actually manipulate their faces and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was listening in on like on a deepfake thing on the radio on like them doing that sort of thing. That's a whole nother like thing, but deepfaking stuff is getting really close, and not just really close, but like that 99% where like it's scary. And this sort of thing, this neon, I don't know. This is kind of weird. I don't like it.
Well, okay. Well, you might say you don't like it. So here, I think this. I watched a video on this, and they said like, oh, this is going to be useful for things like checking into like checking into like hotels and stuff like that, or like those self-serve kiosks at like movie theaters, where instead of like that ancient technology of punching your information into a screen, instead it's like an actual person there, almost.
Are we gonna get a new wave of Day Turker gerbs?
Maybe. And if you think like, oh yeah, it's kind of weird to talk to an AI or robot doing like these services, it's already happening in like China, Japan, and Korea.
So like this sort of thing, like that's not what I was saying. Like it's scary, like this neon thing. Like the deep fake stuff is in what the test they did for that. Like
Yeah.
That sort of thing is kind of scary. But like I mean, sort of like a digital front desk person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we kind of already have that. Yeah, like you said. But I don't know. I mean, I think this this sort of brings up a topic of like, or I feel like it will, of the robots are taking our jobs when it actually doesn't, because they need people to actually fix these robots, and I don't think, I guess the only thing I'll say is that that's not going to happen. I think this will be a cool feature that probably those rich neighborhoods and stuff are going to have, but I don't think it's going to be a mainstream thing in like your supermarket or whatever in the next 5 years. I don't think that's going to be a thing.
I think so.
I mean, at my Safeway from like down the street.
Do they have self-serve kiosk or self-serve checkout?
Well, what are you saying, that like at the self-serve checkout, like, yeah, they're just going to put the neon avatars or whatever at the self-serve checkout?
Or yeah, or let's say you go to a movie theater. There's already places where you can just check yourself in. Like the Century I usually go to. There's 2 of these things where you just you just go up to it and then you just buy tickets there instead of talking to an actual person.
Right. Well, I understand that. It's more like a money thing.
Yeah, I think in the long term, it's cheaper to do it, to buy this thing than to hire somebody.
No, what I'm saying is that like the purchasing of one of these for the self-serve checkout or whatever, movie theater, what have you, in the next 5 years. Like, as far as for the mainstream thing, I think this is going to be a thing. I just don't see it happening in the next 5 years in the mainstream. That's
Maybe
all I'm
in
saying.
5 years, I can see this happening. Not within the next 5
Yeah,
years.
I think 5 years is enough time.
Okay. I don't
Definitely
know.
not like the next year or two.
It's just like the 5 towns around me, like they don't spring for like the most futuristic stuff. Let me tell you, even like the most developed places, they don't. So that's why I'm saying like the mainstream at my local supermarket.
Oh yeah, it's not
the
literally
Safeway,
going to be everywhere, of course.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
It's going to take a while to get everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'll like to give you guys an example of like stuff is kind of progressing towards like, you know, that sort of vision of the future we always see with automation. Yeah, there was definitely when I went to see I went to Mountain View to see the Rise of Skywalker. In the parking lot, they had a security robot that was rolling around like 24/7. I don't know what he did. He looked like a Dalek from Doctor Who. It was just like rolling around, I think, recording video and watching things or something like that. So, yeah, we're definitely moving towards that kind of automated, high tech future at this point. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be like way slower than 5 years. Cool idea.
So, do you think this might come into video games in some way, shape, or form?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like we already have. Remember that era when this it started with like on the 64 the Pikachu game where you talked into the microphone and it tries to like respond to you, but it was totally like not working for you. And then that PS2 game where you had to tell that one woman like, oh, go here, go there. It was like some sort of like, I don't know. It looked like a third person shooter, but you were just talking to her through the security system. Like we've kind of already had this sort of thing where, and like those voice to text or Dragon, I think the software is called, where like it's a
Dragon naturally speaking.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of already have had that sort of thing as far as for experiments in video games. I think that this is going to go into video games at some point, like where the game you talk to the avatar and like you have some sort of conversation, or like in LA Noire where you're talking to this AI and you're actually talking to an AI and having this conversation and trying to figure out like what the fuck happened.
That'd be a great example. I was thinking of like Detroit Become Human, that kind of game too.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but I think LA Noire is a better example.
It's definitely a better example. Yeah.
So I feel like that is going to be. I think that this sort of AI technology is going to go into our video games. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only game that I can think of, or like another game that I can think of them doing something like this is what do you call it? Like you know, like the old David Cage games, like Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
in Indigo Prophecy.
So yeah, like Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah.
Like remember in the beginning of the game, it was David Cage actually speaking to you, like right at the beginning of the game, saying here, hi, I'm David Cage, and I want to show you blah 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 blah, right? And then, and instead of just him, a scripted event of a 3D model, like it will be an actual video, and basically based on what you choose, right? Instead of it like a pre-recorded video of him speaking to you or like a 3D model, it's actually like a 3D, not even a 3D model of him. It's an actual video of him speaking to you with deep fakes being used on his face and possibly his arms. And, like it looks like a real thing of him actually saying something to you, so they don't have to like record like 50 different lines of him speaking.
Yeah.
Or 50 million lines of him speaking. Yeah.
I heard that game was really good.
Indigo
Yeah,
Prophecy.
it's on
Oh
my
yeah.
list. I haven't played it either.
Just I wouldn't stream like the uncensored one because there are sex scenes in it.
Well,
Twitch will be fine.
well, the game is dated. I think that's the only reason why I wouldn't stream it.
It's still a good game though. I think it aged well.
Okay.
Based on story. Graphically, it's like PlayStation 2 graphics.
Yeah, it's not much you can do about that.
But yeah, the tension is still there, I think. Because it does give you like this cinematic like timer thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, that is it for CES. I only really have one other topic if anybody else has like topics that they want to talk about.
I don't really have a topic, but like I remembered something else that I did like in my week, but
Oh yeah?
But that was it. Well, the other day I did a sponsorship thing for Shell Games, spelled SCHELL. It was for a VR game called Until You Fall. It's a roguelite and plays out in just the same way. It plays out in just the same way, but they what it is you go in and you have weapons and you swing around and stuff and you fight each one, but you also have to block in specific directions whenever they go to swing, and you also dodge. So there are like arcade games that like I remember that there was a boxing arcade game where you have to dodge and left or right and or under or whatever, but I went and did this, but it was the most fun I've had in VR in a long time, because whenever you're fighting something in VR, some of the worries for myself when I try it out is how close are they going to get up to me? And oh, I'm sorry, T.
No, go ahead. I wasn't saying
okay.
anything.
Is like how close they get up to you. And that's what I experienced with Arizona Sunshine. Like if the zombies like starts walking up to you, it's going to walk up to you to like almost go through you. So it's right in your face. But all these enemies in Until You Fall, they don't get right into your face. They're in a distance away from you where you're comfortable enough and you feel like you have a reach enough to be able to swing at them. But I played that. I agreed to like do it for 3 hours, and I'm paying the price for that. But still, it was the most fun that I have ever had in VR.
Paying the price, like your abs still hurting?
It's more my arm work. Like I'm arms? Swinging around and shit. And
no, I just remember you saying yesterday on your stream that like your abs were hurting.
I don't know if I'm saying my abs. I know my back was hurting though.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, that was the other thing, and this game is in early access, but I really want to like give a shout out to them because this game was so much fun, and like all roguelites, like you gather currency, you die, and then you go back to main base to upgrade your shit, and you go run the gauntlet again, and you're even stronger and stuff. So yeah, shout outs to them.
Cool.
I hope like VR games get like start progressing and they get better in the way that they're doing this game, because I have to hand it to them. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think VR like technology, it's going to start becoming more and more. Call it convenient. Is that the right word? Right.
What do you mean by convenient though?
Oh, I mean, because right now I feel like there's just so much wires and rewiring that you have to deal with, and like you have to deal with this and that, and then hear the sensors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the Oculus Quest did a good job, but I still think like it can be a little more improved.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think at this point, since like with the Valve Index being released, companies should be working on the comfortability, the ease of setup, making it so that it's wireless and streamless and
lighter.
Seamless.
Yeah, we're still kind of at the beginning. Even though VR has been with us for a while, it's still kind of at the beginning, so it'll get better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just needs time.
Did you guys hear about the Final Fantasy VII leak?
The demo leak?
Yeah, basically pretty much tells the ending.
Oh. What? I mean,
Wait, do we not know the ending?
I thought it was only Midgar.
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of things that they put in there apparently, and so we all like I think people figured out like where it's gonna end.
Oh. I don't care. Like I say like I don't care, but it's more like I don't see the importance of that, since like unless they're making huge story changes and like, oh man, like, you know, Sephiroth is actually going to do this and it's something completely different from the main game, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't really...
There's probably not going to be any crazy changes, I imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they'll add stuff. But like, the demo itself got leaked?
No, it's not just a demo. I think the entire game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not hear about that. Interesting. So some people have access to the entire game right now?
That's what they say.
Yeah, or at least like some sort of source code to the entire game.
Because it was in the demo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I figured that like that sort of thing would have gotten leaked eventually. I mean, we're only like 2 months before.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, not surprised.
Yeah, and by the time that series finishes, we're gonna be like 80 years old.
Oh man.
I'm gonna have a grandson by then.
So, how dead is that horse, Sharpie?
I was gonna ask you guys, did you guys hear about Twitch having like I think it was a $20,000 like Uno tournament?
You lying.
Yeah, it happened. It happened like 3 days ago or something.
At Twitch Rivals, right?
Yeah. I was like, I want to know how you get into the running for that. I would have wanted to participate in that.
I think you have to be a partner.
Yeah, I know. Jerks. But yeah, like that's interesting. I mean, like, I guess they were saying it was like, maybe it became a thing because there was like a long time ago where like, I think Uno overtook Fortnite because, I don't know, people had some issue with Fortnite or something like that. So a lot of streamers like weren't playing it and then were like playing Uno and actually betting money and stuff like that. And I think maybe that might have given Twitch the idea to like actually have a formal tournament for it.
I guess.
You know, kind of curious. Do y'all think there's like, what would y'all want to see a tournament of on Twitch?
Spades.
Is there a spades game though?
Yes, hardwood spades on Xbox. Duh.
You want to see a full-on tournament on hardwood spades?
Yes. Or poker. Poker.
Oh,
Okay.
they already had poker tournaments on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Twitch.
There's like legit poker tournaments.
I need a spades tournament. That'd be great.
Dominoes? Mahjong?
Mahjong
Checkers?
would be like the longest tournament ever.
House rules of Monopoly.
I think that.
Oh my,
Oh my god.
City
House
rules, city rules, city rules.
I gotta.
Like,
Well,
as
I mean,
in,
what do
wait,
you guys
as
think?
in like actual rules where free parking means nothing?
No, like city rules, like you land on the property, you can instantly put houses on it.
Oh yeah, that's gonna take a long time to finish up a game. That's why games takes so long, because everybody thinks free parking means that's where you put taxes or
We
something
put $200
like that in
there or something like that. That's how you used to do it back in the day. We just feel like
Yeah, those are house rules. That's not actual rules. That's why games last really long, because nobody runs out of money because of that very specific rule.
I'm just thinking like streamer house, like that Twitch hosts, and it's like what, 6 people playing Monopoly, and just I don't know. I think it could be entertaining.
It can. I mean, look how Critical Role like blew up with just talking
I mean, yeah.
and tabletop games. Yeah. So if they can do it, I'm pretty sure they can think of something with like Monopoly.
I would like to see Twitch kind of take, or some kind of streaming platform take the lead on bringing back like game shows, but have them be like literally hosted on Twitch. So
but
I always think like,
but they're gonna let partners do it first. So
yeah, I mean that's fine, but I think it'll be interesting to watch. So like when they had like what is it called, 1 versus 100?
that was good.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
So something like that, where like maybe Twitch has their own version of it, and like you have 100 streamers or something like that who all they could be hosted on their own channels or whatever. But like everybody gets to play, and people legitimately are playing for something, whatever it is. I don't know. It doesn't have to be money, but I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting. Kind of had that idea once like Uno showed up, because it's like I love playing Uno, and to me it kind of still has that. It almost has kind of like a board game kind of vibe to it when you're playing it online still. So I think just something where it could be like competitive, more competitive, like board game style games or game show style games, I think would be cool on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Uno got so big that I think Uno's Twitter had to tweet out the actual rules, because they said something like you can't put 2 reverses on top of each other.
No,
or
you
something
can't
like
do
that.
that. You can't put 2 reverses, but like when we used to do like eliminations, like you can run with the draw 2s like all day.
Wait, you can't put 2 reverses on top of each other?
No.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that, if I remember correctly.
You can't be like reverse to me, reverse back to you.
Oh, you talking about when it's 1 against 1? Oh,
No,
I see.
think
Never
it's
mind.
like
I get it. A single
as an
person
actual
can't
rule.
put down 2 reverses. I get. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh. Yeah, I was confused about that too, because I was like, wait, 2 people like one after the other?
I was like,
But no,
I
it's
definitely know you could be like, I reverse it goes to Zeldrick, and then Zeldrick can reverse it, and it goes back to me. I know you could do that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not me dropping 2 reverses in the same hand, like reverse 1, reverse 2. Maybe if you really into Uno like that, won't you just stream and get some friends to play Uno with you?
I totally would.
Yeah, I've asked.
I totally would.
People don't have it or don't want to play.
That's my problem. I don't have it.
I think I got it. I think I got it.
On Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get it on Steam.
How much is it on Steam?
$10.
Like $10. No. So we're not going there yet.
We're not.
First, we're gonna play Prop Hunt. We're gonna play Prop Hunt and Trouble in Terrorist Town. We're gonna do whatever the hell you want to do on fucking Tabletop Simulator, Sharpie.
Oh, we already did it.
We already did it. Secret Hitler.
Oh, well, I thought you wanted to do more than that. All right, I missed it. Whatever. Now it's
Maybe
Prop Hunt.
at some point. Yeah.
But actually, I guess update for all you guys and for the podcast, I do have the same as like before I said in the Discord, but like I have Prop Hunt set up, and I would like to do games with you guys, and like I just need to get somebody to join in on my game to see if it fully works.
I could do that
because I really want to play. I've been really wanting to play Prop Hunt.
Before we get off track, though, Sharpie, you said you had one last thing.
Oh yeah.
No, that was the thing. It was the Final Fantasy VII leak.
Oh, okay.
And then we're gonna all play Just Dance 2020.
No.
I
Thank
will
you.
destroy you, Sharpie. Nah, I'm good, dude. Anything else happening?
Anyways,
in the news?
that's it for me. I got nothing else other than GDQ. But I don't know what to talk about that.
No, I haven't watched it at all.
I watched a good chunk of GDQ actually. Well, and I say good chunk, but like comparatively to previous years, like I watched more this year than I did previously.
Yeah, me too.
It's a lot of fun. I think that this sort of it's more like the type of humor, or I guess like the in joke that they usually have with each GDQ. Like I kind of like don't really vibe with, but like now it's more like I can understand like what's going on or what they're talking about or whatever. Since I've been watching more and more of these speedruns, and it's just super interesting. Like the one of the milestone, or the last milestone, was speedrunning Link's Awakening for the Switch, like the remake of it. And how long has that game been out? Like 6 months or some shit? Less than that? I don't know, but like they already have that cracked. And it was wild to watch all this stuff. But do you guys know how much they ended up raising for Prevent Cancer?
I think I just saw $3 million.
Oh, they actually passed 3 million.
They went up that high. God, I remember I kind of like that where I saw the largest number was like 1.7 or something like that.
I'm pretty sure I was just on a website that just like in passing saw it, and then like saw it said 3 million. Hold on, I think we can find out, but yeah. Yeah, I never like know when this is when AGDQ is like on.
Yeah, I never
really
know
when it
either. It's
happens.
like it's just on. I was like, oh, I guess it's GDQ season, and I just start watching because like it's every 6 months. Like isn't there one?
Yeah, I think
like,
it's like spring and fall or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they did $3.13 million.
Holy shit!
That's not bad.
Can I have it? See, that's how we know you a baller. You're like, that's not bad. You know?
Yeah, this
I
was for
did 7
Prevent
last
Cancer.
week.
You stop pocket checking, bruh. Stop pocket checking. Mr. Tesla driver.
Who is that? Zeldrick?
You have a Tesla now.
I do.
How is it?
I'm fancy. It's the best thing I ever bought. Minus the fact that like every single nick that happens to the car, I feel like costs $1,000 or something like that. I have like very few issues with it at the moment. Super fast, like drives itself, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm just like, I love it. I think everybody who I've had in the car thus far is like, they kind of don't know what to expect, and I'm like, yeah, this car is really fast. They kind of don't know, and then like a couple people got a little scared. So, watch. If y'all ever get in the car, I'm not telling y'all. I'm not gonna say a word. I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna floor it.
What, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds?
What's up?
0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
No, I didn't get the performance one, so it's like 3.7. The performance one's like 2.9.
And it's
I
pretty
know. It'll
silent
still
when
throw
it
you
does
back
that
in your
too,
seat.
right?
Anything else? Any other topics?
No, I don't got anything else. So you want to just let's start wrapping up. Say what we're up to later on, or this week.
I'll go first. This week we'll probably play some more Stick of Truth, and maybe probably get the other what's the fractured butthole.
Butthole.
Really? You gotta work on your spacing. The fractured butthole.
Yeah. Let me see.
Do you already own it?
No, but I'm gonna get it.
Why don't you just borrow it? I think I got it.
On what?
You have everything. Why make a difference?
I forgot.
It's on PlayStation.
I have everything. I have everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just probably playing more South Park. Trying to get used to the schedule again, and so I can have like consistent days of which days to stream. Most likely, probably gonna be morning streams. But you can check me at Lady_Infamous415, and I'd like to thank everybody that stopped by and hanged out with us today.
I'm gonna be playing. Well, I finished the Messenger, so apparently, After Party isn't that long, so I guess I'm gonna be finishing that. But I was gonna try to jump on tomorrow if you're still playing to do some Monster Hunter with Zeldrick. If you're doing your Mondays.
What time are you gonna do Monster Hunter World? I'm sorry, Unsheath. Go ahead.
It's fine. Go ahead.
What time are you doing Monster Hunter, Zeldrick?
I mean, as far as for streaming it, I'll be later in the evening, like probably my usual time of 8 p.m. But I know that you, LadyInfamous, you stream earlier usually, so I can hop on earlier and play with you then, and we can do that because I have another friend that will be joining me on PC for Monster Hunter Monday.
Oh, okay, it's on PC. Okay, never mind.
Well, no, because like if you're going to be streaming it earlier, then or playing it earlier, whatever your schedule is for Monday, then I can hop on the PS4 version earlier and then do PC later.
Oh, okay. I'll figure it out.
I like how you got rich people with owning the game on multiple consoles.
Oh my God, Chief, what is your Twitch? What is your Twitch? What is your Twitch?
Let me finish. No, I'm gonna do it. So I want to do that on tomorrow. I guess at some point, whenever you want to do it, we could kind of figure out.
I think I'm down too. I still have it installed.
There you go. You gotta figure out do the prop hunt, Trouble in Terrorist Town thing whenever you want to do that.
Okay.
But I think other than that, I don't know. I just gotta find a game to play. So I'll probably just jump online and do games and demos at some point and look around for something to play because I just don't know what to play next. So, but anyways, if anybody wants to join, it's twitch.tv/UnsheathedP UnsheathedP.
Before I start, I have a suggestion actually. Sundered.
I'm not playing that shit.
What is that?
What did you say?
God damn. I thought you were fucking around with me.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying?
Sundered. It's free on Epic Games.
It's the Epic Games one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I played it at TwitchCon like 2 or 3 years ago.
Are you gonna play that?
Maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean, if it's free, might as well, right?
Right. I'm just suggesting that too.
I gotta remember. I think actually, I'll definitely probably. I think I'll try that one because I already did get it from Epic Games Store. But there was one other one that I think I'm gonna try before because I actually heard it's pretty short. What the hell is the name of this game? It's kind of like it's like a high contrast, like kind of futuristic sort of looking game. I think I've seen people riding motorcycles and kind of I think getting into fights and stuff like that. So it's a game that just came out like in the last month and a half or so. I'm blanking on the name of it though.
Something Future 88.
It's not that one. No.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll think of it. But there's another game I'm gonna try first.
Anyways, I will be playing Monster Hunter World. I might, or I should, get back into Final Fantasy VII as well. Those are going to be my two main things I'll be streaming. But yeah, Monster Hunter Mondays, I still want to make a consistent schedule for streaming it. You can find me on Twitch and on Twitter at Zeldrick, Zeldrick. But the school semester is just starting up, so it may be a little bit spotty, but I'll hang in there. I'll see about making a consistent schedule.
Cool. And for me, you can find me at twitch.tv/JSharpie. And I will probably start off with Bloodborne, maybe Wastelands, and maybe Hitman 2 because I got that during the Steam summer. I mean, not summer. Steam's winter sale.
I mean,
Bloodborne's
it could have been the
pretty
summer
easy.
sale.
No, it's not. Man, if you need an extra person to play with, I got you. I need to finish that game.
Wait,
Well,
Hitman 2 is 2
No, I'm
players?
talking about Bloodborne.
It's about
Oh,
Bloodborne.
okay.
well, also, LadyInfamous, whenever you're hankering to play Bloodborne, just let me know, and I'll jump right on. And I'll change what I'm streaming that night for Bloodborne.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess that's a wrap for this week. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.